to survive, to get water, to get food. It was one of the fun part for everyone on that time because it was different. It was really hard and we would struggle a lot. But it was the time that we had to spend more time with each other. We had to work hard to survive, to get water, to get food. Anyway, it was the fun part for me. Maybe it wasn't for everyone
Sounds like
else.
the opposite of fun.
Yeah, maybe.
But what you're saying is at least you're out of the shipping containers and at least something has changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Something different in detention where everything operates like a clockwork. You have to get meals by this time, otherwise there's no meals. You have to take shower when the water is running, otherwise there's no shower. So I think anything, whether at the time it doesn't matter whether good or bad, anything different, anything that's not same clockwork routine is always welcome. This is a detentions where crammed with human bodies, like you literally can't even change dress in the cell. You have to get out in the walkway to be able to change. So, and it is pretty strictly monitored too. So there is very little place to hide anything, and let alone a phone. And all these spots, every time it got discovered, were always marked, so you can't hide it there. And in all those time, he will come up with very clever, very genius plans how to hide and where to hide, and develop tools like as if we were in the, I don't know, the dawn of civilizations. Like pretty much, you have nothing and you have to make things from scratch. And I think surviving in that sort of control by others, like we're gonna make it, kind of make this really strong bonds where we often used to say brothers from another mother. Like, so that kind of a brotherhood inside where you kind of know pretty much everybody's name, whether it's Milad or Farid or Jamshid, or like you just know everybody. It is as if like it was a forced bond, but when the bond became the bond, it was really strong to break. And those kind of survival struggles kind of force things into, instead of, I think, breaking the bond which the authority would set hope, I think it kind of reinforce it. It just makes us stronger. I think the time that Jaivet left and tried to start his journey, no one even noticed that he's not in the compound anymore. I was, and my roommate was one of the people who he didn't even tell us because we were really close, but he wouldn't tell anybody, I was sure. And I think after 2-3 months, we just realized Javed's not there anymore, and we were like busy with all the stuff that I told you guys to try to survive without food, power, electricity, and that's how his journey started, I believe. I left, and I wish I could tell to those who are close to me that I'm leaving, but it was more of a I'm saying he's shaking his head, but I wish I could tell, but I couldn't because it was a risk to to them and to me. Like if they knew they would be obligated when the authorities come and press them on. On my side, it will be a risk to let any information out and then like screw up the plans along the way. No one really believed that someone could escape from the country which we were all on control in a really small island, that the only way out was getting on a plane and go to like the city, and after that it was so hard to I still can't believe and imagine how he did it. He is right. Like I was reading all the development, but from afar outside of detention, but I was still hiding and I was figuring out my way out. But it is actually, I think, what we call it is not a good feeling. It is kind of a survivor guilt. Like you can just being able to see what is happening, how they're being dragged, how they're being cut out power, how they're being cut out food and digging holes. It just make you feel like a coward, like you're leaving them behind. And even though I was in equally bad situations where I was running away and then like hiding things, but it still make you feel like you are a coward for leaving them behind, for not standing shoulder to shoulder with them inside. And yes, I was reading them, but it was not a good feeling.
Anyway, we were like so proud that someone can really do it. It could inspire other people to do, which was impossible. Anyway, there was first and last person who could escape, and we all happy about him because it was something really big.
You would think, why would you need to sponsor someone in Australia? Like that is one of the questions that I got when I was having my hearing. Australia was by the judge at IRB, Immigration and Refugee Board. The Australia is such a quote unquote civilized country. How would they this do to you? And so, in case you're wondering why do you need to sponsor someone who is Australia, before it was indefinite detention. You just don't have a date whether or not if you will get out. It's just dark at the end of the tunnel. You have nothing to look forward to. Right now, it became the detention were on Manus were dismantled, but they were just put in a different locations in Australia, but still in the same system. But instead of endless detention, indefinite detention, right now they were being put on a 6 months visa, which they call bridging visa. And to anyone in Australia, I have actually quite good question. What is it called bridging visa? Bridging to where? Like every time 6 months and they got a letter saying like you have to go back voluntarily. And to me that sounds like a bridge to hell. And I don't know why it is called bridging visa. And right now, instead of indefinite detention, they're living a 6-month life every time with the hope of like it will renew, with the hope, which oftentimes get rejected and they were put into detention. So whoever came up with that bridging visa name, they need to reconsider it.
My message would be is look at these two guys. They haven't even told you half of what they're up to. Amir has a contracting company he's launched. He's got a beauty salon. He's an electrician. Jaivet is a U of T student, Refugee Advisory Network, Canadian Rohingya Development Initiative co-lead, big Rohingyan advocate, doing lots of stuff at very high levels of government and advocacy. So that's just two of them. And, you know, these guys were in a prison situation for years and years. And as soon as they came, they hit the ground running and are sort of outdoing most of us Canadians. So to me, that is what happens when you take people who have been given no opportunity and then you allow them to sort of be equal residents in your country, that they like outshine a lot of us, frankly, and have more impact and do more good than you would ever imagine. So, and these are just two. We know a lot of people, including some people in the room today, who are doing really, really awesome stuff. And what that means to me is, as Canadians, because we have this private sponsorship program that really is unequaled in the world, it's kind of a moral obligation to us to do what we can, like you guys have done here in this church, to sponsor lots of people.